and me doing one-on-ones as many as I could. And so by Christmas, we had 150 agents, right, in 6 months. Keller thought that was a big deal. He started flying me around the country, explaining to, all his other people what we were doing. And next thing you know, my profit sharing went to 5 grand a month, 10 grand, 15, 20, 25,000 a month, 300,000 a year. And I was able to retire. And when I vested, I left. And I think I was with Keller 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 total. And it was fun, but I really wanted to retire. And that's what I did. And I've been getting that profit sharing from Keller for 20 something years now, which is pretty exciting. And about 8 years, as you mentioned, ago, a good friend of mine, Gene Frederick, shared with me EXP, and he had been a big deal at Keller, and I heard that he'd left Keller, and I thought, wow, maybe he can travel like me, because we were traveling and enjoying. Because when you have no debt, after going through a bankruptcy, you have no debt, right? And then if you've got $25,000 a month coming in every month, you can live pretty good with no debt, And so that's what we did. And so he said, I thought maybe he'd retired and we could start playing golf and traveling together and doing some stuff. And he said, yes, he had sold all his Keller stuff, because he had a half a dozen franchises, a regional owner and everything. And same thing I had when I left. And he said, but I'm working on another real estate project, and I think you'd be really good at it. And I said, whoa, Gene, I'm a no. I'm a hard no. I said, have you seen my lifestyle? I said, I make a couple $100,000 a year, whether I get out of bed or not, from the Keller deal. And I haven't, with no debt, you live pretty nicely. Thanks, but no thanks. Good luck. And he said, no, you really need to check this. And I said, why? What would be in it for me? Why would I want to do this? And Gene said, well, he said, if you do the same thing at EXP that you did at Keller, instead of $200,000 or $300,000 a year, it would be $5 to $10 million a year. And there was silence, and I go, no way, because I had been looking at P&Ls of real estate companies, trying to get them to convert to Keller many years ago. And I knew real estate companies just didn't make that kind of money. And he said, this one's different. Trust me, you've got to see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I said, all right, fine. And so this is this famous showing that he did, his napkin presentation. But what he did to get me, I'd been staying at his house over Memorial Day at his lake house in Texas, very nice place. And, eating his food, drinking his wine, riding his jet skis, going on his boat, all that stuff. And he was wanting to get together with me to show me this new thing. And I kept putting him off in his own house, right? And finally, the last day we were there, here's what he got me. He grabbed a bottle of scotch, 4 cigars, and he went out to his porch and he said, follow me. And of course, I had to follow him under those circumstances. And so we went out to his porch, and yes, sure as shit, it was a rainy, stormy night. And the wind was blowing, and Gene was excited. And we started at 11:30 at night, and he finished up around 4:30 in the morning. And the bottle of scotch was gone. The cigars were smoked. The napkins were blown all over the yard because of the wind and the rain. And I thought, I'll never be able to explain this to anybody. I'll never put those napkins in order. Holy shit, what did you do to me? And so I went to my wife and I said, Jen, I said, I kind of really like what Gene showed me. He's right. I think what he showed me is going to change the real estate industry dramatically. They'd been at it for 7 years. They only had about 400 or 500 agents. And I thought, they really don't know what they have a hold of. The same thing I thought when I saw Keller, they just didn't know what they had. And I said, this is really brilliantly put together. And I told Gene, unless this falls apart from the inside, this is going to change the industry dramatically. And so I told Jen, I said, I think I want to do this with Gene. And she said, yeah, I figured you probably would. She said, what's in it for us? And I said, well, Gene said, and I did a lot of Gene saids in the next 6 months, year, Gene said this, Gene said we should go here, Gene, and I said, well, Gene said that if I do the same thing that I did at Keller and we do it here, instead of a couple 100,000 a year, it'd be 5 to 10 million a year. And it took Jen about a nanosecond to say, you really should do this. Yes, you should. And she pointed her finger at me. You should. Where am I? Uh-oh, I lost something here. My technology's coming. There we go. All right. And so I told Gene, okay, fine. So we had it, neither one of us were licensed. We hadn't been licensed for a long time. And so I'd say we flipped a coin. Jen won, so she got the license, and then I became the recruiter, right? And I did the very same thing. I said, I think I can enroll 2 people a month with this. And I said, I'm coming aboard because I want to make $500,000 a year. I was making several $100,000 with Keller. I was making money from other investments we had, and I was making, for something in the neighborhood of 400 or 500. And I said, it'd be worth it for me to make another 500,000 so that I'd be, we'd be making $1 million a year. And I said, we could certainly live on that. And, okay, I'm going to come aboard and build this. And so my plan was this. When I looked at the revenue share, and to me, it was revenue share, I thought the company's good. It's got all the basics down, right? It's a real estate company that sells houses. They teach, they train, they consult. They have accounting people. They have legal people. They have coaches, everything. They're a real estate company. They got that part down. And so I said, the recruiting thing, that's a little different. So I said, here's what I thought. When you enroll somebody, you make 3.5% on that first level. And so I figured, well, what if I could only get agents that sell $1 million a year? Right? I mean, no big deal, no thing. I didn't know anybody. So what if I thought I just got some real, average to mediocre agents? So $1 million in sales is just a couple houses a year. Doesn't matter where you are in the country. It's, 2 or 3, 4 or 5, not very many houses to do $1 million. Well, if they do it at 3%, that's 30 grand. And if we get 3.5% of that, according to the revenue chart, then that's about $1,000 per agent. That's what I figured. So I said, all right, I'm going to need 500 agents, making $1,000 per agent. That'd be 500 grand. How would I do that? I said, well, my experience at Keller had been, if I get 25 agents on my tier 1, on my first level, personally enrolled, in time, those 25 would refer 50 between them, not each, of course, but between them. So 25 would become 50 in time, and those 50 on tier 2 would become 100 in time on tier 3, and 200 on tier 4, and so on. And I figured it would probably take me 3 years to get 500 agents. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to get any big players or not, but I know I can get agents that sell $1 million. There's no doubt about it, because I can help them make more money with revenue share. And so I said, I want to get 500 agents, and I want to do it in 5 years. So I started, and then literally I was shocked because it only took me 7 months to do that. And my first year in 2016, my goal was to personally enroll 2 a month, 24. I only got 22. So I did not hit my goal, but those 22 referred others who referred others who referred others to the tune of 700 agents in my first 7 levels. And that's part of the wealth chart training video that is on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and you search Rob Flick wealth chart training, you'll find my 26-minute video that explains exactly how to go from 0 to $500,000 when I first got started. The numbers have changed a little bit now, but the basic principles are the same. It's 26 minutes. I give scripts and dialogues, what to do, what not to do, just points. And then what I also do is show out of those 22 agents, I had 4 agents that really went for it. One was Scott Lewis, who you all know. One was Wilco Raviston, who was my landlord. One was Sheila Fedgeron, of course, and one was Brent Gove. And so those 4 people actually built the business really big. Today they're huge. They had it's because of those 4 people that I had 700 agents, quite frankly, but I had to enroll 22 to find those 4 that year, right? The second year, I think, is when you came on, Sean, and so then the second year, believe it or not, I got another 20 and 4 more people showed up, Sean being one of them. Ashby's in Canada came another one. And I just got several others that came aboard. And um, and it got way more than 500 because after the second year, Sean, my 700 became 3,000. And in my third year, that 3,000 became 7,000, and then 10,000, and then 15, and then 20,000. And then, you know, it was really pretty good. Well, before you knew it, 500,000 was happening not just annually, but it was happening monthly. And it was like, whoa, I never expected that. I'm adjusting. I tell people all the time, I'm adjusting, to the cash flow, but it's way more than I expected. I'm very happy with it. And now my whole goal is to help, stay above 30 personally enrolled, because I know you can do that. But for 2 years, I had some health issues, as you know, and I actually did nothing for 2 years. Thank God that I had built my safety net, my financial safety net during the time while I could, so that when I got sick, and, I had a triple bypass, I had a heart valve rebuilt, I had stents put in my heart. I mean, I had a massive thing, nearly died a couple of different times, really did nothing for 2 years, took time off and relaxed and took care of me, my health, right? And so about a year ago, I said, I'm going to just start all over again. I didn't lose anything. I still had it. I said, I'm going to do the same thing again, because a couple of things happened. First of all, several of the people that I helped personally enroll that we needed for FLQAs began making too much money in rev share. And so they decided not to sell houses anymore because they were making 6 and 7 figures in revenue share. I don't blame them. I mean, that just totally makes sense to me. But I realized, whoa, I'm losing FLQAs. And so all of a sudden, I'm not maxing out, what I should be getting based on the number of people and closings on my rev share team, right? My first 7 levels. So I said, and I started hearing from people, this is really weird. It's too late. You can't do it. The opportunity is gone. You're going to have to do something else. If you're not in already, you got in early, blah, blah, blah. I kept hearing that. And I thought, that's crazy, because in the world, there's over 20 million real estate agents. In the United States, recently, I learned there are 3 million real estate agents. And we have less than 100,000 at EXP. That's very, very small percentages. And I thought, nah, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to do it again. And so what I decided was, in February of last year, I took my wealth chart that I just gave you where to go look at, and you should all make your own wealth chart, and you should have it hung somewhere in your office or somewhere where you can see it every day. And I took my original wealth chart. Oh, there you go. Good for you. Right. And
didn't show up.
Yeah. And I said, because I stopped my wealth chart, my first wealth chart, I stopped after I hit 4,500 agents. I quit filling it out, and it would just started taking a life of its own. So what I did was I took my original wealth chart on my 2-foot by 3-foot poster board, that I got at Michael's. I flipped it over and drew a brand new, fresh wealth chart with nobody on it, nothing added at all. And I said, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to enroll 50 new agents. I'm going to do that as quickly as I can. And I'm going to start developing thousands more. I'm going to show people that it's very possible to get 10 who get 10. And that's what I teach basically, is just 10 who get 10. If you can get 10 agents and help each of them get 10, that's 100 agents based on their selling, that you should make anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 a year. Now, that's enough to live on for most people. That will change most people's lives. You just get 10 who get 10. Just think about it. You just want to get 10 who get 10. And people were having difficulty doing it. And I said, no, you just have to do it consistently, persistently. You got to put yourself out there. You've got to meet people. And I'll talk to you what I've been doing to do that. But so the first time I did it in the beginning in 2016, we hoped it would work. we hoped it would pay what we thought. We hoped we could get the agents. We hoped we would have the success stories. Well, now when I did it this last year, it was no longer hope. It was fact. We have the success stories. We have the agents. We have the agents making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, some millions in rev share. And so it was I think it was much easier for me. In fact, in the first 7 years, I never enrolled more than 22 people personally enrolled. I think maybe one year I had 23. But most of the time I was 20 or 22. My goal was 24, and I never hit it. I never hit that goal in my first 7 years. But in this last year, Jen and I enrolled 43 agents personal. Why? Because there's already a story, because there's already success, because you cannot hide success.
You just accidentally muted, Rob.
You've just got to get people with their egos knowing that they can do it, that they want to do it. You got to find people's why. And of those 43 agents that we've personally enrolled in the last 16 months since February of 23, 17 of them, I believe, 17 of them have become new FLQAs for us in 1 year. Right. I mean, that and so now what's happening is I will easily enroll 50. I only need 7 more. I'll probably enroll 100. And because what I'm finding is the agents out there still have that need. And I'm proving that it's doable. You certainly can get 10. And I've got at least 10 agents now that are starting to enroll. Some of them have 5 or 6. I think one has 9, one has 20 something, so in other words, what's happening is the same thing that I did in the first thing in 2016, when there were only 700 agents total in the whole world with EXP. Today, 90,000, it's hard to hide. And it's interesting is a lot of the people that I showed the presentation to in the first 5 or 6 years are now coming back and seeing it again. Because they say, yeah, I heard about it. I've seen the success. I heard rumors about what you're making. Is it true? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, yes, it's exactly as we said. What's going on? We're just really getting started. Our goal now as a company is 1 million real estate agents. We are now in 24 or 25 countries, 90,000 or so agents. And now we want to have 100 countries and 1 million agents. And I believe, I truly believe, to have 10% of the agents worldwide is not impossible as a long-term goal. I don't know if I'm going to see it in my lifetime, but I believe 10% of 20 million, we could have 2 million agents, and the stock has made a big deal. I didn't really count on the stock very much. I just looked at RevShare, but I was able to accrue in excess of $1 million worth of stock, and which I donated to my high school, actually, to create a scholarship fund for the bottom 20% of the class to go to trade schools. And now we've sent now about 130 kids to trade schools now to school. And this year we sent 39. Last year we sent 42. And it's exciting. My goal is 1,000 kids being able to go to trade school from my high school, the bottom 20% who really never gets noticed. But there's some really good income in trade schools, and these people are just not college material. And a lot of them wouldn't have had the money anyway. And so it's very, very rewarding when we have our annual banquet, so we can have the kids who are going to school that talk about it to the kids who are not, and have their families and highlight their families. I mean, it's a hug fest and crying, and everybody's, and when you realize that you can have that kind of an impact just by sharing, EXP. Very tight. I was only with one other company that I said, this company changed my life, because Keller definitely changed my life, but no other company did. And until EXP came along, and it changed it dramatically, and it's changing the lives of thousands and thousands of agents, and they're affecting thousands of people who are agents and non-agents too, And so I just decided that I was going to show this to at least 10 people a month. Um, and I do that. And I have at least 16 conversations with agents a month. I know my numbers. If I go out there and I meet 15 and I meet 25 or 30 agents, I can get half of them, maybe 12 to 16 in a conversation. And from that, I might be able to get one or two. And it's pretty much been that way. So it's 16 agents it's actually almost 3 agents a month now. Just because it's on my mind. I'm happy. They can't shake my tree. My belief is beyond. And so for agents to come aboard, they have to believe in 3 things. One, they have to believe in you. They've got to believe you're going to go somewhere that they want to go. You have what they have, and you're worth following, number 1. Number 2, they've got to believe in the system. They've got to believe that the system works, and if they succeeded at it, they would get paid and they would have those same rewards. And number 3, they've got to believe in themselves. And that's probably the hardest one of all, because a lot of agents say, I'm not a recruiter, or I don't know how to recruit, or, any kind of 50 or 100 different excuses that are all crap to me. Because if you decide you want to do it, facts don't count. You'll get it done, and you've got to find out their why, what they want to do. I'm looking for agents' pain point. I want to know, they obviously have to know, like, and trust me, of course. They've got to have belief in me. And my belief is so strong, they know I believe. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm living proof of it. You can't shake my tree. And I know that it's happening, and I know it can be done. And I know it can be done now because I'm doing it again. And I drew a line, and I've got 42. And now before you know it, I'm going to have 100. By the end of this year, my goal is to have 100 agents personally enrolled during the last year, almost 2 years, right? 100, 50 a year. And I think that's very doable in chatting and talking with them. And then I still do the basic lunch and learn every week, and I get 2 or 3 agents to 35 agents every week. I don't really care how many there are. I want them to know it's part of the system. It's what I've done. Everything I've done, I do is 100% duplicatable. I want, you don't have to be doing $100 million to succeed at this. You can be brand new. You can sell 5 houses. You can sell no houses. It doesn't matter. If you learn how to relate to people and ask questions, and that's all I do is as I ask questions. I ask, a lot of times I just stick my hand out and say, hi, my name's Rob. I'm new to the area. Are you from here? How long you been here? What do you do? How long you've been doing that? Are you still as excited about it as you were when you first got started? I mean, what's your exit plan? Do you have a retirement program in your company? What is it? Where do you go? I heard you consider yourself super successful, or successful. I said the average millionaire has 7 income streams. Can you tell me your top 4? Right. And I just ask this of anybody I meet all the time. I'm always asking it. And then eventually they get around to asking, what do I do? If they don't ask me, what do I do? I don't tell them, because they don't have any interest and curiosity. I want them to be curious. Right. And so they say, well, what do you do? And I say, well, I'll show you. On a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is incredible and 1 sucks, what grade would you give your career today? And most people say a 6 or 7. Very few say more than that. Very few say less than that. Most people say 6 or 7. And I say, well, what would make it a 10? And they say, well, if I do this, this, and this, and I sell more houses, or I do this, or I get more clients, that would be it. But they never say anything about making more money. So I say, sounds like you just want to work more. Or I mean, why do you want to work more? I would think you just want to make more money. And they go, well, that's what I want to do. I said, well, what makes you think you have to work harder to make more money? And they go, well, that's all I've ever learned. And I said, yeah, okay, well, so that'd be a 10. So play with me here for a second. What would be a 10 plus? And I'm trying to get them to dream, and they tell me what it is, and I repeat it back to them. And they finally get around to saying, what is it you do? And I say, I'm the guy that helps people get their 10 plus. And if you're interested, I have a no frills lunch provided presentation. I'm more than happy to share with you. Every Wednesday, I do a public presentation on what I do, just teaching, looking for a half a dozen people to teach every year. You could be one. You're welcome to go. Lunch is on me. Come on and show up. And so that's how I get them going. And then I tell it my agents, do the same thing. Just say, my mentor says that I need to share this system, with 5 or 10 people a month, 5 or 10 people a year, whatever. I've got to find 5 or 10 people that are worth working with. And I have a mentor who makes a 7-figure residual income in real estate. Have you ever met anybody that makes 7 figures passive in real estate? And almost every single one of them says no, they never have. I said, well, here's your chance. Lunch is on me. Listen to him for about an hour. And it's very low key. It's fun. It's funny. It's a good time. You can meet some other people he's working with and just get a feel for yourself. No big deal. No pressure. Are you trying to recruit me? No, not at all, because I don't know if it's a fit. You may not be right for us. We may not be right for you. It doesn't matter. But you need to know why we're the fastest growing real estate company worldwide, why agents are making more money than any other company, and why EXP is selling more properties for the last 2 years running than any other real estate company in America. And 8 years ago, they had 600 or 700 people. You should know why. It's not rocket science. When you see it, you cannot unsee it, and you'll think about it. And eventually, I think someday you'll decide that this is for you or not, because someday you're going to have a conversation with your kids about why you did or did not make life incredible for them. Because they're going to say, Daddy, why didn't you do that? And you're going to have to tell them that you obviously didn't have the faith in yourself to do it, because you can. Everyone's got the ability. And that's why I try and keep it super, super duplicatable. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Love it. Lots of nuggets flying out. Let's go right now with a lot of us are picking up the phone and making calls right now today to agents, team leaders, and brokers. So give us kind of what you'd say right now if you just gave an agent a call out of the blue and they're 3 million or greater in production. How do you kind of start that conversation, Rob?
Well, first of all, I would say, so you did 3 million this year. What did you do last year? Are you still fired up about what you're doing? Your business. Are you open to doubling your income? Have you had anybody sit down with you and show you a way that you could do that? What if I could help you sell an extra 6 to 10 houses a year on top of what you're already doing? And what if I could help you earn from other multiple streams of income and asset developments that EXP has that could equal that income that you have? Because you're not making 6 figures. If you're doing 3 million, you're grossing maybe 90 grand, you're netting maybe 50, maybe 60, something like that. What if I could show you how to make, I could easily show you how to double your income. And because we have a group together that talks about it, then people are doing that, and we teach people how to do that. And you're certainly welcome to sit in. And if you've never done that, or you don't have any, you can say, my mentor is going to show you. Come, we call it Wealth Building Wednesday. We have this presentation, and it's really the upper 1% of the people that really get it and understand. And we're trying to get that 1% to 10%, because most people don't understand what we talk about when we talk. I would challenge you to be able to truly understand what it is the speaker is going to say. If you're going to eat lunch anyway, come listen and see what the big deal is all about. And by the way, if you haven't heard, EXP has made it even easier for you to make more money than ever before. On May 9th, they adjusted the system so that the rank and file, the minions, the masses have a chance to make 6 figures relatively easy. Do you know now that you are every agent? I tell them now, you are one agent away from a 6-figure income on top of your sales, because of the way our rev share system was changed on May 9th. You get paid on the first 3 levels. Do you understand that? So if you find one person that gets 10 or 12, let's say you find one person, and that person finds one person that gets 30 or 40, because they're out there. I have lots of people that have enrolled 100, that have rolled 50, that have rolled 20. There's no question about that. Oh, what's happened? Are you still hearing me, Sean?
Yeah, yeah. Did your camera just get cut off? See if you actually hit that
My
button.
camera just cut off. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just keep talking. Let me know if you can't hear me.
Yeah, we got you.
um, and so I said we get together and you can be able to hear it. He makes 7 figures a year. He's a cancer survivor, blah, blah, blah. I have them use me. I have them say, we have people that are making 6 and 7 figures from this, and we're just explaining the new EXP 2.0. Let's say you get 10 people personally, you get one person enrolled, and that person enrolls one, and that one person enrolls a Rob Flick who enrolled 100. All of a sudden you're making $50,000 to $100,000 a year, and you enrolled one person. Yes, you'd be a member of the Lucky Sperm Club, so to speak, but now truly you are one person away, one person who gets it, one Sean Sturrock away from a 6-figure passive income. That's no question. I mean, my biggest thing is I'm consistent, I'm persistent, and most of the time I'm pleasant. And when I find talent, I try and get out of the way of talent. I try and let them do the best. I really truly want them. Oh, you're back on screen now. I want people to succeed. You know what I mean? And so I realize it's very doable. There's people out there with dreams and hopes. And if no one else is going to be out there doing it, I'm going to show it can be done again. I am living proof it can be done again. Just go do it. Stop complaining. Go meet people. Go to open houses. I don't spear people. I just go looking for people with the right energy. I just go looking around. I want to see some positive people. I want to know who's working in the market. And I would say, how is your lead gen? Do you have a lead gen program? Do you have software to back up what you want to do? How would you like to double your income? I can help you do that, or I can get you to somebody who can help you to do that. You know what I mean? If you're open, you're here working, you're in this open house, blah, blah, blah. You got a great attitude. How would you like to double your income? Could you imagine doing that? But I might not say it to them at that time. I look around, go through the house and everything. I would call them back after a couple of days. And let's say I met them and they had a really great attitude. I would say, you know what? I've been thinking about it. I came through your open house the other day and I met you and I really liked your attitude. You were upbeat, happy, informational, not the typical real estate person I run into. And I just can't get you out of my mind. I've got to ask you a question. Are you open to doubling your income? Because I can get you to somebody that can help you do that. If you're open, just a conversation, costs you nothing. How would you like to do that? And just see what they say. We can't hurt, right? I'm not going to say, well, how would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. You're trying to recruit me to say, no, I just want to share with you some ideas of what can be done and what's happening with hundreds and hundreds of agents and why we're selling more houses than anybody else in the United States, any other real estate company, according to Inman News, 2 years running. Okay. That's not a story. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And I just get to them. I liked your energy. You had really great energy. And I personally say, I'd be open to working with you. You may not know about me, or you guys can all say, you don't know about my mentor. My mentor has helped hundreds of people develop a significant income, double and triple their income, sell more houses, make more money, acquire more assets. That's what it's all about. And we've got the people to be able to.
I love it. So many nuggets, man. And Kelly, I hope you are typing away, young lady. There's been a lot of great questions. I know it's this simple way to ask, but at least I know myself and a bunch of us do Zooms, may not have lunches in their area. We've talked about it, how to get lunches going, but if you're inviting them to a Zoom, really nothing any different. Asking them questions if they have interest. Right. You pull them onto a Zoom from time to time. Do you do that, or do
I absolutely do? I do a Zoom presentation. As long as I have access to internet every Thursday. I do lunch and learn on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Arizona time, I do a Zoom presentation every week. And lately we haven't had anybody show up, nobody, which is weird. If I don't have any guests, then we do question and answer, teaching and training the agents. But I'm available every Thursday, 1 o'clock Arizona time. And I say Arizona time because we don't do daylight savings. So when daylight savings change, it's a different time to where you are than where Arizona is.
Where do we find that link, Rob? Maybe you can just say it.
I'm putting it, Sean, I'm putting it in. Oh, do you know it, Roy? Right, I'm going to put it in the chat.
Yeah, it's expelite.live. expelite.live, Live.
Cool.
And I do that with Monica, Monica Duraso, who's the top agent in all of Ohio. And we do that together. And I don't care whether there's one person or 50 people. I've had as many as 50. I've had as many as none, which I totally don't understand because they have access to one of the top people in the world in real estate income every Thursday at 1 o'clock to ask anything you want. Personal training. I'm there for 45 minutes.
So Rob, if I could, I love what you said. I put it in the chat. I can get you to someone who can help you do that. So in those conversations, in those questions that you were talking about, that's exactly what you can stay and then get them on that on that Thursday webinar with Rob, right? It's a perfect lead in just to set them up for Thursday on Rob's webinar, like a 7-figure income earner. It's fantastic.
It is, and actually multiple 7 figures. It's 7 figures is not enough, but multiple. Hello, it's just they never met to meet or hear people, and sometimes you're going to say, you know what, he's going to speak the truth. You may not like what you hear, but he's going to tell you how it is.
Yeah, and I can tell you guys, seen Rob do many a presentation. Not only is he obviously all the detail, everything they need, but he's casting vision, but he's funny. The whole thing is very entertaining. And all knows at the end of it, people are signing up left and right. When you think of Brent Gove and all the big agents that came on in the very first year and a half, too, everybody was watching Rob. So he brought on the big boys. Everybody came. So definitely at least advise you, even if you can't get a guest this Thursday, jump on. Tell me if it doesn't energize and move you to go, I'm getting people there next Thursday. That was crazy. So any last question? I know it's right at 10 o'clock. We started a few minutes late. Rob, you need to jump? You got just a couple minutes?
I have a couple minutes. I have a tea time I have to make.
Residual lifestyle. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Any question for Rob here before as we wrap this thing up? Anybody? Anything? You were thinking of something, Bill. I could see it.
Where are you living now, Bill?
We are in Orlando, Florida. So yeah, and it's been good. No, the only thing I was saying is that, Rob, every time I hear you talk, buddy, it just re-energizes me. So I'm excited to be getting on Thursday. But and another thing, just personally, it's good to see your face, brother.
It is good. I wish I'd have known you were in Orlando. We were just there 2 weeks ago. We took the grandkids to all the theme parks.
Well, I saw it. We were in Texas. My father passed away, so we were there.
I'm sorry.
While you were here. No, it was a blessing. But yeah. So next time,
okay,
let us know.
Sounds good.
Well, guys, let's do this. Rob, thank you, brother. Sincerely appreciate it. Congrats on getting back in the game. I love you just being the navigator, the front runner, kind of letting us all know it's possible again. Redoing it a second time, so that's phenomenal. I'm kind of the same situation, just starting back over. So, guys, thank you so much for attending today. Rob, if you want, I can send you the recording. I know you've done hundreds of these. Do you need the recording?
Sure, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay, fantastic. I know we started a couple minutes late, but we got all the good nuggets here at the end. Other than that, guys, thank you. I know we got obviously big mastermind tomorrow. We got the Connect to Collaborate Wednesday. Jump on Rob's Thursday morning. If you want some more Q&A before that, jump on with Eric Thursday morning. You guys know the deal, man. Everything is loaded. It's summertime. We're in full swing. Let's all make it happen. Rob, you're the best, bro. We sincerely appreciate you. Everybody, thank you so much for jumping on. All right,
Thanks,
you guys are making a monster day.
You bet. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.